I feel a bit like Hamlet. To have a panel discussion or not to have a panel discussion? That is the question. Are panel discussions important? I would say yes, because my name is Kristin Arnold. I am a master facilitator and an expert on moderating panel discussions. So of course I would think yes, but also no. Panel discussions are not appropriate at certain times, and they are most appropriate at other times. Let's find out more. So panel discussions are an excellent format to bring diverse viewpoints together to hash out fairly complex situations that are not known by the audience. That being said, everything should not be a panel discussion. In this video, we are going to discuss the key factors to consider when you are thinking about having a panel discussion or not having a panel discussion. So let's dive right in. So when you're trying to figure out whether you should have a panel discussion or not have a panel discussion, you might want to consider asking yourself a few key questions. The first one is, why should this be a panel discussion? It's a good question, actually. You know, sometimes our answer is, well, we did one last year. We're going to rinse and repeat and do it this year. It might be, well, we didn't really think about it. We're just trying to fill a slot in our meeting or our conference or convention. Devin Pasha Montgomery, a colleague of mine, she is an awesome event designer, and she and I were chatting about this, and she said that is question number one. Why do you think that this should be a panel discussion, or fill in any kind of meeting event format? Why do you think that this would lend itself well? So, you know, when you think about a panel discussion is great when you have diverse viewpoints that are represented by some experts or practitioners or people in the field to talk about those viewpoints that are not explicitly known by the audience, that the audience can learn, can have some takeaways. So unless that's your objective, the reason why you want to have a panel, maybe you want to do a different kind of format. Why do you want to have a panel? What do you want the audience members to do, think, or feel as a result of that panel? Is the panel format the best format that you can come up with? There are many other formats. The panel discussion format is but one. The second question that you should ask is, what other behavioral change are you seeking? Devin suggests that there are 3 different types of behavioral change that you can look at. One is knowledge learning, attitude learning, or people learning. And when you look at a panel, you've got to ask yourself, how am I tapping into those 3? Can I actually shift people's understanding of the topic? Can I shift their attitude, their understanding of the topic? And is there some kind of behavioral change around what they do with that topic? These are all important factors to consider when you're looking at what's the change. They walk into the panel. At the end of the panel, you want some reason why they sat there and invested their time with you. So what's the change that you're looking for? Devin also says, you know, if you can't answer that question, here's a series of questions that you could ask that might lead you into the answer to this second step. Whose behavior is essential to change with this event or this panel discussion? Who is essential that we delight in this event or this session? Does a panel fit in the criteria to change the behavior that you're looking for? What's the difference between where they are before and where they are after the panel? What is it that you want them to think, do, or feel as a result of that panel? I'm just curious, have you ever seen a panel that you thought wasn't tied to any objectives? Like you're just sitting there going, why am I here? Am I wasting my time? I'm just curious. What was it about that panel that made you feel so disconnected? Just write it in the notes there. And while you're there, if you don't mind, like this video and maybe subscribe to this channel. I'd appreciate it. So let's say that you have decided that a panel discussion is the optimal way that you're going to accomplish your behavioral objectives. Okay, so let's just make that assumption. You've decided a panel. Well, where does it fit in the program? That answer depends on what the objective is. So rather than looking at it from where does it fit in the program, is it at the beginning, the middle, or the end? Ask yourself, what are we trying to do with this panel? Are we trying to tee up a topic? Well, if you're going to tee up a topic, then it would be at the beginning of that topical phase of your meeting. Maybe it's at the beginning, or maybe it's at the beginning of day 2, or maybe your afternoon, you're moving into a new topic segment. So if you're trying to tee up the topic, a panel discussion is a great way to just say, these are all the puzzle pieces out there. And we're going to take deeper dives in a lot of the things that we're going to tee up in this panel throughout the rest of our time together. For example, maybe you want the panel to dig a little deeper. So if you're trying to dig a little deeper, maybe you have a panel discussion after a presentation that was made. Invite that speaker as well as a couple of other practitioners to have a panel discussion to go deeper into the topic and or what was said in the presentation that immediately preceded the panel. Perhaps you want the panel to debrief the topic. Maybe you want some kind of summarization, takeaway. We've been talking about this panel, or we've been talking about this topic for a while, and now we're going to bring together some, maybe just people from the audience. Maybe it could be some of those practitioners, experts in the field, and debrief. So what are your key takeaways? What did you learn from this? So that could be another reason why you could have a panel. Finally, a key reason that I see a lot of people just throw a panel in there is to shift the energy. You've had speaker, let's put a panel in there. Like, please don't just gratuitously throw in a panel, but a panel is a good way to shift the energy in your program. So depending on what you want the panel to do will dictate where it's going to be in your program. You know, too often I've seen panels be put on a program and the panelists and the moderator get told about the panel, but they forget to tell them this critical piece, the objective about why they're in the panel at that point in the program. It's a critical piece to help people understand what their role is in the overall arch of the flow of the event. So to panel or not to panel, it is a question, and that question all depends on some nuances and what you want that panel to do. So I hope you got some good ideas, and if you want more information about how to moderate a panel, I invite you to subscribe to our 7-part free video series at www.howtomoderateapanel.com. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you.